Title: The Cursed Road of Palampur. There is a hidden road near Palampur, one that most villagers avoid at all costs. While a wider, well-maintained road connects our village to the town, there is a shorter, older path, rarely used and shrouded in superstition. This narrow trail winds through dense forests, cuts through steep hills, and is flanked by breathtaking but eerie scenery. Yet, despite its beauty, no one dares to venture there, especially after sunset. The road is cursed, haunted by the malevolent spirits of the daayans, the witches of the hills. I had grown up hearing tales from my grandmother about these daayans. She said there once was a village at the top of the hill, a place that no longer exists, wiped off the map by something darker than history itself. In this village all the women were daayans, powerful and feared. They would gather under the banyan trees on dark, moonless nights, stripped of their clothes, their bodies smeared with ash, and perform unholy rituals. Each of them held a large tray in one hand and stuck out their tongues into it, tongues so long they coiled and filled the tray entirely. It was said they worshipped in this grotesque state, and anyone who saw them would be dead within days. Legend says that these witches could take flight, mounting their broomsticks and soaring into the night sky, their shrieks echoing through the forest. While no one alive today has seen them, the mere memory of their presence lingers in the air. It's as though the forest itself remembers them, warning anyone who dares to pass through. I never believed in these stories, not until recently. A few weeks ago, I found myself needing to take the cursed road. It was the fastest way to get to Palampur, and I was running late. It was late afternoon, and I figured I'd be back before dark. As I climbed the narrow path, the forest closed in around me, thick trees casting long shadows that twisted and stretched unnaturally. The deeper I went, the more the sunlight disappeared. The air felt heavy, suffocating. Even the birds had stopped singing. I began to feel uneasy, but I pressed on, trying to shake off the sensation. About halfway up the hill, my car's engine sputtered. Panic shot through me. I tried to restart the engine, but it was as if the car had been drained of life. I stepped out, hoping to find help, though I knew no one else would be on this road. The forest was silent, save for the sound of leaves rustling in a wind that hadn't been there before. That's when I felt it, a presence. I turned, and in the distance, just at the edge of my vision, I saw something. A figure, pale and gaunt, standing beneath a banyan tree. At first I thought it was my mind playing tricks on me, but then the figure began to move, slowly, deliberately. As it drew closer, I saw her the daayan. Her eyes gleamed with malice, her long, coiling tongue stretching out unnaturally. She clutched a tray in her hand, just like my grandmother had described. Frozen in terror, I couldn't move. Her eyes bore into mine, and I knew that if I stayed there any longer, I would never leave. The air around me grew colder, and I could hear faint whispers all around, voices from unseen mouths. Summoning whatever courage I had left, I scrambled back into the car and desperately tried the ignition again. This time it roared to life. I sped down the hill as fast as I could, not daring to look back. The forest, the cursed road, everything blurred together as I raced away from the darkness that had almost claimed me. I never spoke about that night to anyone, but since then I've heard others talk about strange experiences on that road, cars breaking down for no reason, shadows darting through the trees, the eerie feeling of being watched. Some even claim to have heard the distant shrieks of women in the night sky. The road may be shorter, but the journey through it is one you might never return from. Those who venture there at night risk more than just their lives. They risk becoming part of the legend, another lost soul claimed by the daayans of the cursed road. This tale continues to haunt those who live near the forest. And while no one dares to speak of it openly, everyone knows. The daayans are still out there, waiting for their next unsuspecting victim.